Greetings and welcome to the team competition segment of the WinLABS tournament presentation. Now that we have created a tournament, assigned a tournament director, and defined the average verification rules, it is time to set up the team competition. For today's demo, the event itself will be open, consisting of a 5-person team. The 3 handicap divisions will be determined by average. There will only be one division in the scratch competition, which will be optional. We will also create one weekend of squads. To create a new event, from the Define tab, click on the Setup button. Once on the Event tab, click on the New button. Here you see the fields already filled in. Events are either bold, such as the team doubles or singles event, or they are virtual. Virtual events use the scores from bold events to create a separate prize list. All events is an example of a virtual event. It should be noted that virtual events are exclusively for individuals. Virtual team or doubles events are not yet supported. Today's team competition is a bold event as indicated. Add the event name and use the drop-down arrow if necessary to select the game format. It defaults to the American 10-pin standard. There is also an American 10-pin Sport for sport bowling tournaments as well as other formats. Enter the number of players on each team along with the number of games in your event. WinLABS supports up to 6 games in each event. The teams per pair of lanes in this case is 2. Doubles events often have 3 teams per pair. If you have a rule where bowlers without an average will use a scratch average, you can enter it here. WinLABS will not automatically change a person's average to the scratch average if they do not have one. Bowlers without an entering average should be assigned an average in accordance with your rules at the time you add them to the roster. For example, many tournament directors will assign a 220 average to a bowler if they do not provide one. Lineage is the amount of money that goes to the center to cover the cost of bowling. If you're wondering about the prize and expense fees, they are part of the divisional setup, which we will cover next. If your tournament allows individuals or teams to participate in an event more than once, you would indicate so here. WinLABS does not limit the amount of multiple appearances. In other words, if you allow a bowler to bowl twice, WinLABS will not identify those that have bowled 3 times. In our example, we allow 2 of the 5 team members to bowl together more than once. 3 of the 5 team members must be different. WinLABS will identify teams as a duplicate if 3 or more individuals bowl more than once, in our case. You can check for duplicates before bowling begins. Duplicate teams are also removed from the standings automatically. Before we move on to the creation of team divisions, here's an overview of the WinLABS divisional features. By default, WinLABS requires that you create one division. There are 2 types of divisions, handicap and scratch. Divisional assignments can be manual, however that should be rare. WinLABS is quite proficient at assigning them automatically. WinLABS can be instructed to assign divisions based on average, age, gender, or a combination thereof. For example, you could have a tournament where the boys Division 1 is 180 and up, and the girls Division 1 is 160 and up. If you would like WinLABS to handle the divisional assignment automatically, WinLABS will assign the team or individual to both types of divisions. Today we are going to set up a team competition with 3 handicap divisions. Our tournament also allows teams to optionally compete for prizes in a scratch division. A team with a combined average of 860 would be automatically assigned to Division 2 handicap and Division 1 scratch. Okay, let's create the team divisions. From the Team Event tab, click on the Divisions and Current Event. Once you are on the Divisions and Current Event tab, click on New. Here you see the Divisions tab. We will create the handicap divisions first. WinLABS will automatically place the next logical division number in the field for you. You can change it if necessary. For example, when we create the scratch division later, after the 3 handicap divisions have been created, WinLABS will place a number 4 in this field. We will change it to Scratch Division 1. When creating a division name, try to keep it logical. This name will appear on many reports. In our example, the division consists of teams that have an average of 950 or better, we name the division 950 and over. The next set of fields are requesting information regarding averages. If you only have one division, or if your divisions are not average-based, leave these fields blank. In our example, Division 1 consists of teams with a 950 average or better. We entered 950 in the minimum average field and left the maximum blank. Blank is the same as entering the maximum possible value. The next two rows involve age criteria. If you have a senior tournament or a youth tournament where age is a factor, you would apply the age criteria here. Our division is average-based, so you must leave the age fields blank. The age applies to field is not applicable. You may leave it set to team, as shown here. The gender field should not be used unless gender plays a role in divisional assignment. Women's tournaments should not indicate female here because gender does not separate their teams. Everyone in their tournament is female, so gender is not a divisional factor. Our division does not use gender at all to separate the teams, so we indicated none. The next field makes the decision as to how divisions will be assigned. If you indicate manually, all the previous fields would be ignored, and the user must enter the division of every team by hand. The necessity to assign teams to divisions manually should be rare. WinLABS covers most scenarios. Our tournament utilizes averages, so we have indicated automatically. Each division can have a separate formula for calculating handicaps. WinLABS offers two methods, team and individual. Handicaps are normally calculated by taking an average from a base, multiplying the result by the number of games, and then by the handicap percentage. The team method utilizes a large base, such as 1100. It then subtracts the combined team average and does the rest of the math. The individual method calculates each individual's handicap by subtracting the bowler's average from an individual base, such as 220. It then adds up all of the individual handicaps to create the team handicap. Our tournament utilizes the team method. After selecting the team method, we must now enter the handicap base. Our tournament will use 1100. Team averages will be calculated against this figure. The handicap for this tournament is 90%. If your tournament rules have a maximum handicap that can be allowed, enter the maximum amount here. WinLABS will not allow a team handicap to surpass the number entered in this field. If you do not have a maximum, leave the field blank. In summary, a team with an average greater than 950 would be assigned to this division. The handicap will be calculated by subtracting the team average from 1100. WinLABS will then multiply the result times the number of games. It will then multiply the total by the percentage. It is at that time that the fractions are dropped. WinLABS utilizes a 3-game chart system for all handicapping methods throughout the tournament. The next step in creating a division is establishing the prize fees and expenses. Click on the Fees button to continue. Before we get started, you may want to note that the lineage has been brought into the division fees of the bowled event. We entered lineage at the event level since it is always the same for all divisions within an event. WinLABS allows you to separate the lineage from other expenses relating to running the tournament. It's worth mentioning that some tournament directors do not always want to break out the lineage. Instead, they include it in the expense portion of the fees. There are 3 pieces of information relating to the fees. Up first is the prize fee per person. This is the portion of the entry fee that goes to the divisional prize fund. Next, you can enter the expense fee per person. This fee is normally applied to your bowled events and waived for the all events divisions. The final component is the opportunity to make the fees optional. Bowled events seldom have optional fees. We remove the check mark, making the fees in this division mandatory. To check your work, you can view the totals at the bottom of the screen. They should add up to what you charge a team to bowl in this division. If this division was optional, you would see the optional fee totals here. If everything looks good, click on OK to continue. Upon completion of Division 1, WinLABS will return to the Divisions in Current Event screen. The entry fee for this division is now summarized in the field provided. To continue on to Division 2, click on New. We have already indicated that Division 2 is a handicap division. Division 2 is for teams with an average larger than 859 and less than the average that places you in Division 1. A logical name for this division would be 850 to 949. Here we have entered 850, the minimum average that would qualify a team for this division. We cannot leave the maximum team average blank as we did for Division 1. We need the maximum to be 1 pin less than the minimum for Division 1, 949 in this case. We have skipped over the age and gender fields because they do not play a role in our tournament. The handicap formula we created is the same as Division 1. Likewise, you can see the fees we created are the same as Division 1. To keep it logical, Division 3 has been named 849 and under. The minimum team average is 0. Blank is the same as 0 in this case. The maximum average is 1 pin less than the minimum for Division 2. That would be 849. We have skipped the age and gender fields. The handicap formula and fees were created the same as they were in Division 1. We will now create the optional scratch division. Click New to continue. The first thing to do is to change the division type to scratch. You can also change the division number to 1. It will default to 4 because it is the 4th division created in this event. Since we only have one scratch division, we have left the minimum and maximum averages blank. WinLABS will then place every team in the same division, regardless of their optional paid status. This is not a problem because the current standings report has an option to select only those that have paid the scratch fee. The age and gender fields have also been skipped. Because we indicated that this is a scratch division, the handicap formula area has been grayed out. The fees in this case are not the same as in the handicap division. Let's take a look. The team scratch division in our tournament is for the bowlers that want to optionally enter a team scratch competition. This division is similar to a virtual division because it will utilize the scores from the team handicap events. In other words, a team cannot enter this competition without also entering the handicap event. For this scratch division, we have created a $7 prize fee per person, which is different than the fee we charged in the handicap event. As you see here, there is no expense fee for this division. The expenses for this event were collected in the handicap divisions, which are not optional. The prize fees for this division are optional. Notice that the fee summary shows the prize portion in the optional fee field. The amount shown in the required fee area comes from the lineage. Because the lineage is collected at the event level, you do not have to worry about it being collected twice, once for the handicap divisions and again for the scratch divisions. Upon completion, click on the OK button to return to the divisions and current events screen. As you can see in the list box, we have now created all 4 teams, 3 handicap and 1 scratch. It is now time to create the team squads. Click on the squads and current event to continue. Each event can have their own squads. Quite often the doubles and singles are bowled together. In those cases you should create the doubles first. Later, when creating the single squads, you would indicate that they are shared with the doubles. You do not have to create them twice. Each squad contains a squad number, a date and time bowled, a center, and a set of lanes. To create your first squad, place the cursor in the squad number field and enter the number. Use the tab key to move to the next field. Now enter the date and time. You can enter dates in the 6-digit, month, day, year format. Separate the date from the time with a space. Then enter the time as a 2-digit hour, a colon, and a 2-digit minute. Add the AM or PM as appropriate. Remember, noon is 12 p.m. The center that is holding the event is selected using the binoculars. State associations will not have a list of centers to select from. State tournament directors will be required to create the center using the New button. The last element of a squad is the lanes that the event will be using. The number of lanes indicated here will be a determining factor governing the number of teams that can be assigned to the squad. Do not include all the lanes that a center has if they have not all been allocated to your tournament. For example, a 48-lane center may only offer lanes 25 through 48. After entering your first squad, you can save a few keystrokes by using the Copy Row function to create additional squads. Place the cursor anywhere in the first row and click on the Copy Row button. The highlighted row is now copied to the next row. If the next squad is on the same date as the squad you just copied, you only have to add the squad number and modify the time. If you have a 9 a.m. squad on Saturday and a 9 a.m. squad on Sunday, you can go to the previously created 9 a.m. Saturday squad, copy the row, and then modify only the date. Once you have created all of your squads, you should go to the Reports menu and print the squad listing report for the team event. Check your work very closely. This information is reported to teams in the confirmation letters. The dates and times are also used to determine first score bowled for all events. Upon completion, click Close. Well, we made it. This concludes the creation of the team competition.